let's make sure I record things for our friends who can't make it. um, the reason I really want you guys, oh, and poor Veronica's hanging out there in the waiting room. Um, the reason I want you guys to do this project is because we've got to know how to get the word out, how to market it, how to get people to the classes, how to open people's eyes to realize that there are choices and options in life, how to give people access to knowledge so that they can be the individuals they are designed to be, so that they can be empowered as children and as adults to make choices that are appropriate for them as individuals. Because I can look at all of you guys and I can make decisions for you, okay? And my experience can bring a lot to the table, but the reality is I will never walk in your shoes and I will never know what your life is really like. I can totally predict some things that are just human factors, but in the end, human life is so darn variable that there is just so many vast possibilities that we've got to really be prepared to shift and adjust according to what's out there, and to be prepared to pull people in to give them access to the knowledge and allow them to decide what's appropriate for them, what they are ready to do. And that's, that kind of harkens back to the idea of the pre-contemplative and contemplative stages. Okay. And I'll make sure that you guys, if you had that before and you forgot about it, or if you've never touched some of this stuff, I will make sure that it's there and available for you so that you access it. All right. So everything I'm looking at in this class is really about skill building, to make sure that you guys have a lot of the foundational information that you need. Hi, Miss Rena. I saw you just kind of jump in there. All right, let's go over to our page, folks. I'm sorry, I'm not, it's not that I love you all dearly, and it's not that I'm disregarding you as individuals, but two things. Number one, I am teaching at Kaiser today at God knows what time it is. I have no idea, but whatever an hour and a half is from now, 5:30, I think. I have another class I got to go into, so I got to be succinct. I really loved the flip grid, by the way, and I really want you guys to definitely do this. The link is built in when you look at the flip grid in the syllabus, but the flip grid is super exciting. I see that some more of you have done videos. Yay, awesome. You guys, these videos are amazing because number one, you have an opportunity to tour each other as if you were at a cocktail party and be like, oh, hi, Spencer. Okay. Hi, Venti. Hi, Brianna. Hi, Brian, to get to know each other. And of course it's superficial, it's casual, nothing major, but it also gives me an opportunity to access some insight into you guys because I'm operating here by myself with my white Siberian Husky who's somewhere around. And, I got to be able to connect with you guys too. Okay. Because as much as you're investing in this class, which I super appreciate, respect, and I'm investing in you, I want to have an idea of who you are so that I can hopefully develop my communication and thoughts so that it reaches out to you. All right. So please bring on your flip grids, keep them coming. Wow, there's more that I need to look at. Fabulous. Okay. And then, I got to tell you, I have to get permission. Yesterday, when we did our opening session, one of your classmates, Maggie, was really great, and she created a link for people in the class to chat and discuss information and everything that's separate from the classroom. And I think that's cool because I think that creates a little more of a safe space for you guys since you don't know me. But I just got to check with her and make sure it's okay to publish. And if it is, then I will ask her if maybe I could post it, put it out there for you guys to connect with each other, because you will, if you haven't figured out yet, you've got to get is that your cohort, your team is your support system. And we can go it alone, but there is no I in team. And the success is really going to be when people work together because we all hear different things. We have different perspectives. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes we're falling down, not getting, what we've got to do. Sometimes we just don't have a feel for the material. And that's where the opportunity of open conversation creates that possibility. Okay. Okay. Someone else just joined. I wasn't paying attention, but my friend who just joined, welcome. Okay. So you guys, by the way, if you have a thought or a question, you know, just say it. Don't be shy. Don't hang out there. I don't know. I mean, I think I would hope that anyone who's had me before can attest to the fact that I really invite you guys to make this class your own. And I'm here to work with you, not to work at you. Okay. Miss Raina, do you agree with that statement?
I do agree. Yeah.
Good. Raina and I had a really awesome conversation one day regarding an assignment. And after we had that conversation, the results of her assignment totally shifted, and it was really awesome. And before that conversation, Raina, I hope you don't mind, I'm just throwing you out there because, you know, this is what makes me really sad, is that when people don't connect with me, you're not necessarily accessing the information that you need. And that's typical of all of us, myself included. Hello, human here. But I really invite you. I want you guys to reach out with me. I want you to connect with me. I want you to make sure that you understand the material. Because if you don't, where's the value in being here? What's the investment? What are you going to get out of it? Okay. That being said, let's go. We're at the, you guys can all see my Canvas page now, right now, correct? Somebody tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Bravo. Thank you, Mohammed. I like the thumbs up. That's helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I can't see you guys all right now. I only can see very few of you. So the voice and the thumbs up super helps. Okay, so on the Canvas, you know, it's constructed so that you've got the home page. The modules is really where all of the activities are happening in terms of your educational resources. I mean, your textbook is really the most powerful. I love your textbook. One of your classmates, Leonardo, pointed out, and this was huge for me to learn last night, that apparently me in my dazed grading phase last fall, December, ordered the wrong book for the class at the bookstore. So if you bought that book, return it. It's not the book that's posted in the syllabus. I'll jump down here. What is in the syllabus? And I'm going to have to open up, I think, the big syllabus version for the whole university to find it. But you guys have a few resources that you're going to need for the class. The required text itself is the Community and Public Health Education Methods, which is this book. I love this book. I got to tell you, this thing is fabulous. I had no idea how good it would be until I started doing it, looking at it. It is set up very simple, straightforward. Oh my gosh, it literally like numbers different sections that you need to know, which made it easy for me to coordinate with your curriculum. It's got examples, it's got CHES requirements for you guys to review if that's what you're pursuing. One of my students, Jessiana, last semester had this class last semester, and she said that she had rented the book and realized that it was a must-have, and which is why I ended up taking that one, forgetting about the other one. But she's right. I thought she's kind of crazy telling me that this book is amazing, and when I got it, I'm like, dang, this thing's good. So I do encourage. I'm going to go ahead and send out an announcement, you guys, because when I was researching it, I found on Deal Oz that you can rent it for as little as around $20, or you can buy it for around, I think $45, or you can spend $200 if you want. But I think it'll be a really good investment if your heart says that this is the direction you want to go. Now, that being said, you also have other materials, but these other three I post here. The reason I post the link is because you can access these through the library. Once you log in, you'll be able to put them into your bookshelf and download them whenever you want to read them. You are only going to be touching these. Did you get that verb, touching them? At the beginning of the semester. Okay, sorry. I just saw Bernardo come in, so Bernardo, better late than never. Good to see you. All right. So, you guys, the beginning of this semester initially is these alternate. We've got at the very beginning, this is the textbook. Okay, CPHEM. This is your textbook. But then the next couple of weeks, I coded it as BEC and PHE. These chapters, especially the BEC, empowering people, it's 130 pages. Okay, you got to get with me. I read 5 minutes per page. I am the world's slowest reader. So I'm not expecting you to read those 2 chapters that are 130 pages. That's like cruel and inhuman punishment when you're juggling work, life, and academics. But what I want you to do is skim it, get a feel for the message in those chapters, okay? That's the way I operate. You know, it's one thing to read and access information. It's another, I'm more interested in the critical thinking, the application of information, drawing from your personal experiences and observations in life. So that's why you have these links here, folks, is that so that you can access this information for free. I like that. Bernardo, I was just talking about the fact that I posted the wrong book for the bookstore. It's actually this guy, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so yes, the syllabus that is online, the link at the top of your syllabus page is the full syllabus. I created a shortcut version for on Canvas. So it's got our class times. If you guys notice, starting next week, because I forgot I work Wednesday afternoons, starting next week, our sessions are Mondays 1 to 2:15 and Thursdays 4 to 5:30. It is not designed for you to go to both unless you wanted to. It's not designed for you to go if you have to work that day, okay? It is there for you to expand the conversation of what we're talking about, for me to address questions you have about the material, and I'm gonna do it in a conversation, discussion-based approach with some additional knowledge. I'm making sure that you guys do, your participation points are actually built off of you submitting questions regarding your reading. So that one, I know that you're reading the material, which is so darn short. And 2, so that you're thinking on this and you're getting the answers that you need for the material to come together and make sense. All right. I posted also on this front page my cell phone number. All right. For my friends who know me well, Justin, Raina, Bernardo, you guys, have you seen my cell phone number before? Rosemary? My friends, that is how you track me down. Hands down guaranteed. You want to text me at 2:30 in the morning, I will probably be awake, Veronica. Right on. Yeah, you guys want to find me, that's where you find me, okay? And you find me if I'm not in class, if I'm not in the shower, if I'm not asleep, if I'm not at dinner with my family cooking up a storm, then you're going to get the answer from me. And even if I'm cooking, I'll be like, oh, you guys, I got to answer the student. I think my family's a little bored of that, but they'll get over it. They know my passion for all of you is I want to be here for you guys. I want to keep you moving. Second to this is the Canvas inbox messaging. Please, please, please. That's number 2. Communication method, because I'm on Canvas all the time, I see it. The Cal State Fullerton email system has got more spam than my darn Hotmail account. It is crazy how many emails they send us every single day. And I'm over it. I'm done. I'm tired of it. So I miss students' emails all the time because there's so much in there. And now with this whole Outlook thing, I've got all of my accounts filtering in. And I've got my personal old one that I can't stand. I've got Chapman, I've got Kaiser, I've got my other schools. And it's just like, you got to be kidding me. It's too much. So you want me? What are you going to do? What's the number 1 mode of communication? Tell me.
Cell phone?
Yes.
Cell
Well,
phones.
okay, text me on the cell phone.
Okay.
Yes, text me, folks. That is the invitation. If you're not comfortable with it, then do the Canvas message. If you're in Canvas and you want to copy and paste the information, do it in Canvas message. That's fine. If you are an iPhone user, you can message me directly in iPhone. If you want to FaceTime, you want to Zoom, whatever, I'm game. I'm open for all of it. Okay. I think that's all just really wicked cool. Your Canvas support system is brilliant. If you have not been using them for help on anything regarding Canvas, do. I would always start with the little help icon first because it's pretty darn good. But I will tell you that I've called Canvas before and said, wah, 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 and they said, uh-huh. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't think of that. And they're gracious about it. I appreciate it. They can even log into your computer. I believe they can do it for students too. And they can see what you're looking at to help resolve the problem. The support is amazing. All right, for my friends with DSS, just in case you lose your information, it is here available to you. That was actually a request of DSS to make sure that it is equal access for everyone. So I honored that. And same goes for those additional links through the library. I posted them up front for you guys. In the syllabus on the front page, the tentative schedule, I think this thing is hopefully pretty cleaned up now. I think the things I want to point out to you is that number one, I've got your weeks posted. I don't have the dates of the weeks posted. So just be a little cautious, be present to that. I list the modules so that if you jump over well, that's not where I want to jump over to. If you jump over, oh my gosh. Okay, we can find it. If you jump over to a module, then you're in the syllabus, you're like, oh yeah, I need to be in module 2. Then you know exactly, they're like, you know, closed up, you know which one to open up. Yeah, by the way, I'm still building your site. You know, it's been years since I built a new curriculum, and I definitely had my, I had my reality moments of, oh my God, this takes time. All right, rhythm of your syllabus, your schedule. If you notice, aside from it lists the modules, it lists the topic that we're on. It's a reminder of when we have our sessions. It's the same thing all the way through the semester. If I ever, for some bizarre reason, have a reason I can't attend one, I'll send out an announcement and I'll propose an alternative. If you'll notice the dates, oh, what happened? I shifted. Interesting. I changed my plan. God, who did that? Originally, it was supposed to go Monday to Monday, but apparently at one point I decided to go Monday to Sunday. I believe in wiggle room. So Monday to Monday is a-okay. That like if you have something due on Monday, you know, I would prefer you have the readings done by Sunday because you've got to be able to submit your questions for what I'm going to discuss in our Zoom sessions, and I need to have time to synthesize that information. So if you submit it Monday morning, you are kind of stressing me out a little, just saying, but I now understand why I changed that date. Okay, got it. But yeah, you know what? I get it. Life happens. I'm there all the time. So initially, the beginning of the semester, you guys are starting the readings, you're going to submit questions. I also would just have a few topics that I want to open up our semester with. And today's topic we're going to address, which is navigating Canvas, and then just a little bit more conversation about the approach of this class for becoming the health education professional. And that's what your chapter also addresses, which is kind of cool, little primer. Community empowerment, I'm a big fan of empowerment. I'm not a fan of telling people what to do and directing them with no choice. To me, that's a dictatorship, and I'm not a fan of that. I think that, politics is politics, and I don't feel politics should be in the classroom. I think the classroom should really be a learning environment, but a respectful environment where you have the opportunity to synthesize, process, and accept information that is appropriate to you and who you are. And that means that when I'm out teaching classes, my job with people, and I've got people of all walks of life, of all ages, with all educational skills, language skills, everything. I'm not there to demean them. I am there to share information with them and actually to empower them so that they walk out that door confident that who they are is what gives them the power to accomplish the goals they have for their health and well-being. That's what I'm about. And these two chapters in particular focus on empowerment, meaning when we do health education, we work with those communities for them to be able to eventually take it on and empower themselves as a community, not just us dispensing information. Really brilliant. Multicultural society, holy cow. I want you guys to remember that what does a culture include? A culture has multiple aspects. It has religion, it has historical significance of ethnicity, it's got different relationships with or values regarding food, regarding weight, regarding politics. I mean, there's so many different aspects, art, you name it, multiple aspects to our society and the different cultures that make up our society. And we want to really embrace this. As a dietitian, this is something that comes up frequently, that when I work with people with, dietary habits that they find pride in and respect for their culture, I want to work with them to achieve health without denying their cultural aspects that are so important to them. It was really cool. One of your classmates, Carissa, brought up in class yesterday about how there was this health initiative in we think the Midwest, of educating people not to eat raw ground meat because of foodborne pathogens. And that's a very reasonable concern. People die every year in the United States from foodborne illness. It's kind of ridiculous considering how modernized we are, but it's really attributed to lack of education. And apparently the approach of the education was to tell people not to eat it for the holidays. And it's like, really? You can't just go in, and when people have had a practice for 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, to suddenly tell them, no, you can't do that. I mean, what the heck? Again, that's a dictatorship, dictating to people what to do. But as educators, what we can do is go in and share knowledge with people and give them the respect of making the decision that's appropriate for them. So you're going to hear this theme from me often, because this is where I speak from in the classroom. This is what I stand for, is for people to have pride and respect for themselves. And for them to do that, I am going to also honor and respect that and provide the respect for them, to allow them to be who they are, but with the knowledge that is imparted. Also, we want to look at the health disparities in the US and inequity. These are super hot topics in this country right now, crazy hot. But something I need you guys to not lose sight of, and I'm a little disturbed by this when I look at a lot of the conversations at the university, is everyone's running around and making statements that, yeah, this group's important. We've got to save them. We've got to make sure that they're covered and they're okay. Yeah, this group is really important. But we can't lose sight of all of human life is comprised of different groups. There are so many different peoples out there, and things that I can test to is I always find it amusing that, it's important that we really look at SES massively influences our access to nutrition, but education also influences our dietary choices. And when I see really wealthy people eating nothing but processed, refined food, they have all the wealth in the world to eat really well, and they lack the knowledge. And they then experience the same darn diseases as people who have no SES, have a very low socioeconomic status and food deserts and lack the knowledge, and they've got the same darn diseases. So they're both suffering from different things, and yet we're going to value one over the other. I think we have to look at this and realize that all people need help. For us to look at, mothers who are working and don't know how to construct a balanced meal to fortify their children, and to look at them and say, well, you're not, we don't want to target you because you're not this demographic, that's really sad, because that's our future nation right there with children. Or to disregard seniors, or to disregard anyone. We've got to look at all people matter, and all people need education and support in this nation. And I don't mean support like, let's give out the money, let's give you the flyers and figure out on your own. That doesn't work. We already know that. It's, we've got to perform outreach. We've got to figure out how to connect with these people and give them the information so that they are what? Empowered. And that, folks, is a lot of the focus of this class. And that's why when you go along down, starting on March 1st, you're going to be developing a project. And I broke the project down, and it's from the book. Okay, so the book gives you the steps, the book gives you examples of this, but you're going to be doing your own. And you're going to start with initial stages early on, looking at the structural inequities in the United States, figuring out about different communities, which communities call to you, speak to you. All right. You may have a passion for a specific ethnic group. You may have a passion for a specific age. You may have a passion that draws from your personal experience. Whatever that is, I think that's brilliant and beautiful. And I want you to start exploring different communities. And if you're not already aware of what calls you to be, who you would have the greatest feel and concern for, because whoever that draws you to is what you're most inspired by. And you're going to use that group as your tool, as your group to do the outreach for. And what the outreach is your project. You're going to start by, you've done the research, explored who it is that you want to reach out to, and you're going to start planning a program. Okay. And you're going to utilize in stage 2, utilizing the theories to define which would be the appropriate group that you're going to serve and the information that you want to educate them with about. And then stage 3 is a communication analysis, figuring out based off of that group, what would be the best form of communication. If you want to do outreach to teenagers on suicide prevention, what do you guys think would be the best forum to access them? What do you think? Huh?
Social media.
Yes. So why would we hand out flyers at the grocery store if they're all doing Postmates on social media, right? We've got to find the right forum. And so that's where we've got to analyze them and really think about whoever we're targeting, where are we going to access them? How are we going to be able to conduct that outreach? For single moms, my first thought would be through the school system, accessing them that way, okay? Because single moms, oftentimes they're working and they're working extraordinary hours, and being able to capture them, to find them, to access them for information, they are elusive and hard to track down. And before I got married, I would tell you I was the queen of that. All right. I just still operate that way, though married now. All right. Stage number 4, implementation of your plan. You've developed an idea of an education. You've figured out what you want to do in terms of the plan of attack, how to reach out to them. You know who that is. Now what you've got to put together is a communication mode to get their attention. So for those teenagers on suicide prevention, you're going to want to focus on creating a PSA. Now you can do a PSA, folks, that's either going to be a radio ad or to do a video, but I will pretty much guarantee you that for teenagers on social media, the radio ad's not going to cut it, though you can have a message with really awesome visuals. You know, depends on how you decide to execute that. But you're going to come up with a PSA. I haven't written it yet, but I'd say it's probably going to be 30 seconds. Now, does this, you guys honestly tell me, does this sound scary? Does this sound crazy? Does it sound weird? What do you think? Personal feedback. Someone tell me what you're feeling.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Okay, got it. Excellent. Thank you. So I totally acknowledge that. And if you'll understand, that is why I'm breaking this down. Instead of saying, hey, you guys, you have a project, it's due on April 28th. We're doing this, folks, in increments, one chapter, one stage at a time. We're keeping it very succinct, very small, and very graduated. I'm holding your hand through this process, okay? So at this point, my request to you is I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want you to be patient. Can you guys get that? I want you to trust me in this process. Is that asking a lot of you guys? Honestly. And you could be like, I don't know who you are. And I'm like, cool, yeah, you're right. You may not. But this is where you're going to have to do the leap of faith and trust me on this, that we're going to go one stage at a time. We're going to keep it slow. We're going to keep it simple, and we're going to keep it succinct, and we're going to build this gradually. How do I know? How do I trust this is doable? Because to some degree, you guys have done this. Let's put it this way, okay? You're going to have a birthday party. Well, first thing you've got to do is you've got to figure out, you're going to do kind of the investigation in advance of who do I want at the birthday party? That's your initial research of demographics. And then you're going to start planning your party. And then the theory is kind of really, well, if these are the people that I'm bringing to my party and I'm having my party on this date and I'm having it at this location, I got to kind of dial back for a second and think, you know what? Does it make sense if I get together with all my 21-year-old friends at Chuck E. Cheese's? Maybe not. But then you got to kind of start thinking about, maybe I got to find the right forum for this birthday party for the crowd that I'm with. And then you've got to really start thinking on the communication. Am I going to write invites? Am I going to call people? Am I going to text them? Am I going to email them? How am I going to reach out to them? Okay, you got to start having a plan. Now, stage 4 is a little bit different. Stage 4, you're going to have some type of kind of succinct message to them. Hey, it's my birthday, and I really want you guys to join me. You guys, have any of you ever done any of this for a birthday? For an anniversary party? For a wedding? For the holidays? Have you been a part of this? The recipient of it? These are common skills. And this is why I always tell people, you guys all have a lot of these skills already. My job here is to teach you how they're translatable. When we work through this process, you're going to take these skills, folks, and there's 2 super big benefits that's going to come out of this. Number 1, this is going to be kind of like your pre-portfolio, so that if you go to an internship or an interview and someone says, okay, well, have you ever explored the different types of education, or have you ever done a communication? You're going to be like, well, yeah, yes, I have. You have an idea of what they're talking about. And I want you to be able to go into your interviews with confidence. I want you to be able to go in and look at the information and go, is that like this? Ah, cool. Got it. Okay. I want you to be able to use this information, because if you wake up someday like I did, and you decide that the career direction is not what you want, and you decide to go that way instead, you can take these skills and apply them that direction. All right. Everything I do with you guys is going to have multiple payoffs. You just got to trust me on this process. All right. When you're done with the PSA, and by the way, just a quick little side note, I did a community project. I did this training back when I got out of college, leadership training, and they told us that we had to come up with some type of leadership project. And at that time, it was kind of a real trip, but I was living in Boston, and it was in the I want to say the early 90s. I was out of college, and in Boston, we have Jamaica Plain, and Jamaica Plain had a lot of you know, your random shootings, drive-bys, a lot of just really sideways stuff that was common back in the 80s and early 90s. And I looked at this and I just thought, you know what? There's more that can be done for Boston. And I decided I found out that the city had these after school programs to help get kids off the street, to have safe places to learn, to be active, so that they weren't on the street, so that they weren't home alone. And I went around and I interviewed them and found out about these programs and was just like, you know what? This is cool. Why do people not know about this? Because when I was going around asking people, they're like, what after school program? What are you talking about? A lot of people didn't know they existed. So I rallied. At that time, I was interning at a video production company, and I basically rallied them and the different people they worked with, different contractors, to make a video with me. And we created a PSA that was, we went around and interviewed kids all over the city about the program and what they liked for the program. And then we edited it and put it together as a video, and I submitted it to all the local television stations. And out of the 5, 3 of them aired my PSA to let people know. And some of them were aired like in the middle of the night. And it's like, are you kidding me? But you know, hey, some of them were aired right after school. I mean, I was thrilled for it. But the point is that every little step that we take creates possibility and change. And they said that that did create more applications for kids to get involved with after school, which was, I was thrilled for getting these kids into these programs. They may not like them and they could drop out, that's fine, but you don't know until you try something if the shoe fits and you like it. And it was crazy because I had no one teaching me this process. I intuitively worked my way through it and I did it. And it has paid off 100 times over for me over the years. When I went through graduate school, we had to do the same thing. And I just simply took my PSA and submitted it and said, here, I've already done it. Got an A. But you know, in working and in community health education now, when I'm working with our development team on new curricula for Kaiser, I'm constantly giving them feedback and saying, you know, hey, I've had experience in this arena and I'd like to give you some feedback from my experience. And they listen to me and they respect it. And you know, if you guys end up going into a completely different industry, you have still tasted this and you have experience with it. It will come back. All right, this is the thing, you guys, every experience you have is translatable to different arenas. You just got to learn how to apply it to the different arenas. That's why if you guys change degrees, no harm, no foul. It will all benefit. My financial industry experience pays off every day. And it's funny because at the time I was doing it, I'm like, this is a dead end. What's the point? I don't like money. All right, as we progress through your syllabus, folks, after we come back from spring break, notice I say no academics because unless you've got like an emergency on a project and you have to finish it before, my intention is for you to not be having to deal with any of this stuff. Take a break, work, whatever you got to do. If you want to work on extra credit, that's your choice, but I'm not going to be, I'm going to put it blunt, I'm not going to screw you over by assigning anything. Okay, I don't like doing that. I really try to avoid it. You will, by the way, evaluate each other's PSAs, and there's a reason for this. 1, to get new ideas from each other, and 2, to start exploring what each other has to say, what's important to you, what you want to focus on. Because when you come back, we are going to start looking at now communication. Beyond a bigger understanding of what to do with that PSA, how to communicate with people. And the PSA does fall as one of the examples in the social media logic model, but to start exploring what are the other possibilities you could do. I'm not having you do a little flyer because anyone could do that. I want the PSA because I want you to grow. I want you to step outside of your comfort zone and do something that you might find incredibly uncomfortable, but in a safe environment, so that you can expand your skills. We'll also talk about a specific checklist about posting to social media, things to make sure we're on top of. We're going to progress to a media fact sheet. The target community that you had, you're going to develop a fact sheet. And the fact sheet's kind of like a bio of information. And you would submit that, for example, to the media. If you go to, let's say, a news station and you're like, wow, you know, I heard you're looking for ideas on human interest stories. I have one that I think is really good. Here's some facts. Those facts become the sound bites when they do the spot on TV. You also are going to develop a detailed op-ed or a blog post about your group, and you're going to insert the media fact sheet as a link into that. And you're going to post this for the whole class. This and the PSA are going to be kind of like your advertising pieces, your to draw attention to the class as to what you are proposing, what you're offering, because then you guys are going to start shopping around and you're going to look at each other's groups and you're going to start figuring out of all of those, which ones you think would be a good match with your group, so that you were to, good match with your subject, so that you guys come together as a team, a combined message. So for example, if my pet project was going to be single working moms who are breastfeeding and educating them on this and the power of this and what this means for health of the child, for their economics, how to pull this off, then that's my project. And then maybe Justin has a project and his project is going to be, powerful parenting for dads. And we're going to come together and we're going to do a group project together targeting families as a whole. Or Marissa may come and say, you know what, I have a project that I really want to do that's about spiritual awareness and safety in practicing your spirituality in your community. And we may decide that there is a connection between us, a joint message that we want to make about these mothers and breastfeeding their babies and creating a safe space in the community where they're able to express themselves in their spirituality and in their nutrition for their babies. Whatever that is for you guys, you're going to find groups that come together. I'm taking this page out of the food industry, where some years ago, food companies started to realize that, I don't think it was Domino's, I think it might have been Pizza Hut, where companies started coming together as a unified force to present their products and to market them. So that would be, for example, the idea that, like, if you were going into a store and they had, you know, Pizza Hut and Baskin and Robbins in the same storefront, where they come together to be more powerful than having two separate storefronts. Well, same idea with our community health education, is that targeting topics that come together naturally so that we could be more powerful and comprehensive in our messages. All right, so you guys will shop around, you do that. We are going to practice really simple that we're going to post effective text messages to our population. We're starting to do that at Kaiser now, where we're sending people messages, reminders of classes that people need to participate in, good health messages, nutrition messages. That's kind of like the old campaign of 5 a day for fruits and vegetables, something simple, succinct, but we have to be cautious about that communication because it does have to have the ability to sometimes cross different cultures, different values. So we're going to look at that and investigate what works and what doesn't work. And you guys, none of this is personal. Everything we do is an opportunity to grow. All right. Another skill that we're going to work on is that as you come together with the group that you're going to join forces with, you've got to plan an effective meeting. And again, this is translatable in any business you're in. And if you're already in the business world, you know, you may already be super savvy at planning effective meetings, and that's great. Then, whew, no problem. You got an easy assignment. but some of us may have an opportunity for growing and expanding. And that's where we can support each other, and why I encourage you guys to create a discussion group, because you could be like, hey folks, I do this for my job all the time, planning meetings for our department, and I'm really good at it. And so if you need any support, I'm a great resource. Be that, because remember, it's like tutoring someone in math. You may know it, but the more you tutor, the better you get at it. All right. From there, then you're going to have your meeting with your group, and you're going to document the meeting minutes. You're each going to document it, whether there's 2 of you or 3 of you. That's the coalition of projects. It's the finalization announcement to me of who's coming together, what your goal is, your objectives and goal. And the coalition of meeting minutes, this is really important because we all have different listening. That's the human experience. I can say chocolate bananas, and one person's going to be like, oh yeah, you had a chocolate banana smoothie today. Another person's going to be like, oh yeah, frozen bananas covered in chocolate. Another person's going to go, I can't stand bananas. We all take away different information of the same information that's presented. And that's why I'm going to have each of you do the meeting minutes to see and examine how we carry different information away from things. Then progressing, we're going to be addressing 6 questions about advocating your project. You guys are not going to be presenting this. There's no online presentation. There's no big project you have to deliver, because I'm keeping everything small and gradual so that we all can benefit from it. And then lastly, building a grassroots movement, because of like what I said in the beginning, it's not for us to depend on, or maybe I said it in the prior class, whoops. It's not for us to depend on the government. Politics changes constantly. Money comes and goes, but the most powerful change starts at the bottom and works its way up. And I'm not talking about breaking windows and screaming bloody murder. I'm talking about truly putting our nose to the grindstone and creating change through action. And that's what we're doing, is looking at how to create powerful, positive change in education to improve the health, the quality of lives for people. From there, we'll also just briefly touch in the last week about influencing policy. That means what? Politicians, tactics and targets, things that we can do. And we're going to post it so that you don't have to submit it. We're going to post it and have the opportunity to look at it. The final Zoom session, the other weeks we're touching on topics that, that are addressing those questions. You'll submit your final questions for your participation, just so that if there's anything that you're like, oh my God, I don't get this, I'm going to catch it and communicate it back to you. But otherwise, that final session is just going to be the closing discussion for the semester. And then we'll talk about the final. You'll have the final the week in advance, the prior week, so that you can prepare for it, because my finals are typically critical thinking. And lately I've been doing some short answers. But I got to improve that process. Last semester went kind of weird. And then you'll have your final, you guys. And my guess is online, Cal State Fullerton is not going to mandate a specific day or time. So I will just probably create some type of window for you to submit it. And then I will be available for you on any questions, ideas, things that you need to support you in that journey. Okay, any questions about the syllabus, folks? I'm doing A-OK on time. No, you're all kind of like, woo, this is a lot at once. You'll get there and you'll figure it out. It's okay. If you don't have specific questions right now, when they arise, then, you're going to text me. You'll bring them up in any of the sessions. That's fine. It's, one thing I'll always say, folks, is I really am fluid, and I want to work with you guys. Okay. I don't expect everything to be upfront at once. Okay, but I think I'm done with this. Did you guys have any questions about Canvas and the construct of it? No, my intention is about once every week to 2 weeks, I will send out a video announcement. Whether it be someone raises a question, I'm like, Ooh, yeah, I want the whole group to hear the answer. A great example would be I've got to send an announcement today about the textbook. um, or it might be that I want to highlight something that's coming and I'm, maybe I've looked at some initial assignments and I'm seeing some major holes and I'm worried. And so I want to revisit and say, hey, you guys, please make sure you're covering this, whatever that looks like. My intention is to touch you guys regularly so that we are connected as best we can amidst your busy lives. Okay, so let's do a quick reality check here for me. I was talking about the basics of Canvas navigation, the fact that you have the syllabus and the short version on the website, long and short, that your weekly readings are due by Sundays, preferably, so that you can get your discussion points in for me. That I will build those to become our 10 discussion topics, and you'll get points for the submission of those. That you'll have weekly assignments so that you're building this information gradually. And the payoff to that, of course, is as a stopgap, is that it's like, if there's a breakdown somewhere, let's correct it before you get to the next stage so that you have a greater opportunity of having a powerful grade, okay? Just keep in mind, if you skip stuff, you do stuff at last minute, it's reflected in your work, folks, okay? And I can't help you out if you wait to the last minute. So earlier is better. Submitting things in advance creates more possibility for me to see things and intercept earlier than later. We address the final, most likely some type of critical thinking, the due dates. Let's see, we talked about the Sundays, the initiation Mondays, communication with me. Remind me again, how do you guys communicate with me? What's the best way?
Texting.
Texting, and what's the second one?
Canvas mail.
Bravo, Canvas. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to just keep bringing that up because I don't know what happened. Last semester, I still had people who emailed me and I'm like, I am so sorry you emailed me 2 months ago. I missed that. Oh my gosh. Even if you guys ever want a letter of recommendation for grad school or a job or anything, text me. All right. And then of course, week 1, your items, you have 3 things we talked about, right? Did we look at the flip grid? Did I forget to do that, you guys? I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. When I have classes back to back like this, I start to forget what I said to who. Please make sure you get your flip grid done. If you're really not comfortable going in front of the camera, then pull out a stuffed animal and have the stuffed animal do the talking for you. I'm serious. You never know. That could be the foundation of a really awesome PSA. Don't knock it. Anything's possible. Your personal statements are really important, folks. You've been writing your personal mission statements. And here's the thing is, I believe I've been firing back with revisions. Okay, let's see. Anyone in here I've touched so far on asking for revisions? No, I don't think I've seen personal statements from any of you yet. Veronica, did you do your personal statement yet?
No, I haven't done it.
Okay, no worries. Then I think, yeah, I haven't gone over one with you guys yet. So when you do your personal statement, it's worth 5 points. And this is your mission statement. And the thing is, right? Oh my God, am I mixing up classes? This is gonna be super awkward. Hold on a second. Get me out of here. Let's go take a quick look at your assignment. It's really hard when you guys are so similar. I mean, they are the other class, which some of you have, is the optimization of personal health. But for you to be amazing for other people, you've got to be amazing for yourself first. Do you get that? You cannot effectively help other people until you help yourself first. When you're on the airplane and the airplane drops and you need oxygen, who gets the oxygen first?
You put on your mask first before helping others.
Exactly. You've got to be strong for yourself first before you help others. When you go into that classroom, or whatever the form is of teaching, you've got to be prepared to walk the walk and speak to talk the talk, walk the walk. You've got to already have been there and understand what's so darn important. Okay, so for you guys, you actually have 2 statements you're supposed to give. One is your personal mission statement, what your mission is in life. The second one is your personal health mission. Because if you're teaching health education, how can you speak from health if you're like dying on the side? Awkward. All right. So for the personal mission statement, especially both of these, I'm going to give you feedback. And some of you are not you guys, but some in your class are missing that you have to have 2 different statements. I got to catch them on that crud. When you do these, I'm going to fire back comments and I'm going to be like, you know what? Okay, I got what you're saying now. I want you to look at it being more succinct, because if it's really long and gets kind of convoluted, it's diluted. All right. And then so I'm going to fire back and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to give you a point for effort, but I want you to try again. And then you're going to do it. And I'm going to be like, okay, good. You're getting closer to it. I'm going to give you another point. I'm going to say, I want you to try again. And I'm going to get you to the point where your personal mission statement is powerful. And I want you to get, this doesn't have to be forever. But why is this so important? Because every interview you go into, every classroom you walk into, you've got to have a mantra where you get your game on, where you get really clear as to who you are. And I will tell you mine is that every time I go in to teach, I go into a classroom, whether it be virtual or in the classroom, whether it be 8 people show up or I've got 40 some people who are anywhere. My Kaiser ones are a riot because they are like 40s to 80s and they look at you so darn skeptical, like, yeah, what are you going to do for me? The attitude I get is a riot. Okay. I mean, I've had people in the classroom literally ask me the most insanely personal questions, questioning my ability to lead the classroom. But where I come from, I'm not in any way daunted by what they're saying to me, and I don't take it personal. They're covering for themselves, and I'm here to lead them, and I'm here to let them know that I am there to empower them, not to dictate. So what do I do when I walk into a classroom? Nisa, you're so cute. I walk into that classroom, and the first thing in my head is, I am unstoppable. And that is my juju. That's my power, that every time something comes up, I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. The computer breaks down. The audio doesn't work. The people question my skills or my ability, or they're angry or they've had a bad day. I'm not going to be deterred by that because I know who I am. I am unstoppable and I am there to create possibility for them. And that, my friends, of anything, I want to make sure you are all clear and complete as to how powerful and amazing you are. And you're going to carry that with you, and you may revise it, you'll change it. But I will tell you, mine, it's been decades. That has been the fire that fuels me going through life. And you realizing your personal power is probably one of the most powerful things in life you'll ever access. And I want to help you get there. Okay. So do you get this? I am here for you in this classroom to figure out how amazing you are. And when you do that, then you're going to get how amazing you are in making a difference in other people's lives. Whether it be your partner, your family, your neighborhood, your religious organization, your work, your school, whatever that is. You're here to make a difference in this world by being you. It's that simple. But we're going to get there. Okay? All right, and personal health mission, similar thing. Be clear. What is your mission for your own health? I mean, if you're going to tell me, hey, I want to be a junkie and I want to die of a heroin overdose someday, okay, fine. Then I guess that's your personal health mission. I got to respect that because I'm not here to judge. I'm going to raise my eyebrows because I've already lived through that and seen that enough, but okay. But you got to know what you want, not just for you to be who you are, but this vessel that contains you, that carries you, that supports you, you got to know what the mission is for it too. Okay. Okay. So that's your personal mission statement. We got to get that done this week. The health one, the mission statement itself. You have got also your health education experience. Folks, it was interesting reading your surveys, and here's where we want to correct this, okay? It says experience. I'm not asking for what have you done as a job, your experience. So if you notice, I said, for example, I attended a class on diabetes education for my grandmother. You know what? That's your experience in health education. You were on the receiving end. Cool. You've done CPR training. That's health education. So I want you guys to go back and make a list of all of your experiences around health education. All right. Whether it be dispensing to your best friend, sister, make sure he uses the condom. That is health education. Okay. Grandma, I love you, but let's help keep your blood sugar under control for your diabetes. Let's have a cookie, but let's kind of spread the love and not have all the cookies at once. I know you love my baking, all right? That's health education. And maybe it is formal when you're working in a hospital or dispensing information at a medical center. There's a variety of possibilities of how we experience it in life. But I want you to start getting present to all the forums, all the situations, whether it be one-on-one or big. Maybe it's you watching a PSA. That's your health education experience. Maybe it's reading a book. I don't know. Dig far and deep, folks. You have years of experience already behind you. And I want you to start pulling it out and acknowledging it and realizing it. That's why I said, in the end, you all know all this. My job is really to pull it out of you so that you realize you know all this, that you have more skills than you realize you have. Okay? You think you don't, but you do. And then to fine tune it so that you realize how powerful you are and that you can do all this and that that project is not overwhelming. It's actually very doable because you've done it all somewhere else at some point. Well, I guess unless you were like some person out on the moon, then that would be a different scenario. Or, you know, if you were locked up in a cage in the backyard, then that would be a problem. We'll work through it. We'll do it together. Okay. And then you had one other piece, which was the flip grid, folks. And that's just getting in and creating those super awesome videos. And you know what? I already put myself out there. You know, I've gotten to the point teaching online that I just don't worry about anymore pretenses. I'm just like, boom, here I am. And so there's, oh, Julie, enough. There's the video, me in all my glory, okay? And that's what you guys are going to do. And I got to tell you, if you're not used to it, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be peculiar. But the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. It's cute. I have one of my prior students reach out to me in her application for grad school, and she said that they required a video of her. And she's just like, oh, yuck. And I'm like, girlfriend, get over yourself and start recording yourself over and over and over again. Desensitize yourself from the story you create about yourself and about the idea of recording yourself. You just got to let it go. It's kind of like, you know, the fears we create about getting in the water when we don't swim, or getting on a skateboard when we think we don't have balance, or singing in front of other people when we don't have a singing voice. Oh my God, can I tell you, I have the worst voice in the world. And you'll hear me squeak out a few things once in a while. Like last class I said, she's built, wow, like a brick house, whatever. Are you gonna throw stones at me? Not yet, I'm not worried. So I encourage you not to worry too. When you let go of these things, folks, it actually creates more space for you to be powerful. Okay, I've lost you guys. Come back. Where are you? Stop sharing. Okay, I got you. All right, my friends, how are you all doing? You've listened to me talk a lot today. You think it's great so far. Jasmine, you're absolutely fantastic. Justin, you're with me on that text. Great. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, you guys are so sweet. I got to tell you, one friend texted me and said, hey, I have a class at 5 o'clock. I got to skedaddle. I super appreciate when you guys do take the moment to alert me that you needed to do that, because number one, I won't worry. Okay. And number two, then I'm like, okay, cool. I got it. You've got a lot going on and I want to respect that. And so I want to support you as best I can. Hi. All right, you guys, before we wrap for the day, do you have any thoughts, any statements, anything you want to do? Because if not, then I'm going to eat something and dive into Kaiser. And what am I doing at Kaiser today? Oh yeah, bariatric surgery. It's really cool. By the way, our curriculum is off the charts, so darn good. I'm stealing some of it for our promotion of optimal health class. It's really good. Hey, why reinvent the wheel? I know, Rosemary, right? Okay. Justin, you're so cool. How does the participation work for this class? Not sure if you went over that or I missed it. Yeah, you know what, Justin? It was so little. Your participation for the class, folks. You know what? Attending the sessions is number one in honor system. I mean, I really request that you do when you have the time, because that's your opportunity to connect with each other really directly and to hear me and ask questions. I'm not going to force you to do it. It's unrealistic in an online environment. Okay. I do that to my freshmen at Chapman. But Chapman supports it because they already have specific set times for the class. And honestly, they're freshmen. If you remember your freshman years, we need the structure at that point to get comfortable with where we're going. But for you guys, the onus is on you. I will tell you my experience from the online environment is that if you don't make that effort, you tend to be like a little dinghy without a motor, and you start floating out into the ocean, and then you lose your way back. I'm dead serious. I'm heartbroken because I have never failed the number of people ever in all my years as I did in one semester last semester. And it wasn't failure of work. It was they stopped coming to class, just disappeared, didn't respond to my emails, nothing, poof, out in the ocean, lost. And so you coming is you throwing your own lifeline back into the class, me connecting with you, you realizing through direct contact how important you are. Okay. So the participation in the Zoom sessions is not credit-based. It is really oxygen-based. The participation points are based off of the questions that you submit, preferably by Sunday night. That's when they're required. By Sunday night, 1 to 3 questions about the reading material that you have. You go through, you read the section, and God, I got to tell you, I'm the world's slowest reader, and I couldn't put this darn book down. It was so darn good. But you go through and you're reading the information, and I recommend that you highlight it. And when you get through it, you're kind of like, I'm really not getting what they're saying regarding this topic. Like I'm looking at chapter 4. Chapter 4 is 36 pages, but 36 pages includes the key terms, and they're little pages. Come on. It's 3 chapters there, if it, no, I mean 3 paragraphs, if at that. They're little. But you got to look at the material and figure out, you know, is there stuff that I'm just not getting? Or maybe you're going to have a revelation about something in there and you're going to be like, oh my God, I've been doing this. This is exactly what I've been doing. And you're going to share that. That's your participation point, is letting me know you're interacting with the material, you're processing it, and you're either understanding it or you're saying, I'm missing something here, I'm not getting it. And then I'm going to use that, either response you gave me, I'm going to go through everybody's responses and I'm going to pull out the stuff that I think really should be shared in the Zoom discussion. And I'm going to do it on Monday, and I'm going to do the same thing again on Thursday. So that's why if you come to one, you only need to come to one. Will I record these sessions? Yes, I will. I'll record them. Okay. And I will post them for everyone. For the weekly reading questions, where on Canvas would we be posting our questions? Excellent. In the discussions tab, I will create, I think, gosh, okay, hold on a second. I think I had already started creating those for you guys. I think I only had the first 2 weeks, but discussions, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, so yeah, so for example, I've got Zoom discussion number 1. That doesn't start, by the way, folks, until February 21st, because we're just doing the initial topics first. I posted, please post your 1 to 3 questions, or it might be some statements for chapter 5, and then you just hit reply and you start plugging them in there. And I'm going to go through these. I encourage you to look at other people's posts, because you might come across someone and you're like, oh my God, I have the same feeling, like it. And then I'll be like, oh, that's a really important one. You know, a lot of people really want to understand that better. Then I'm going to make sure I cover that topic. Okay. Jennifer, does that help? Does that make more sense in terms of where you're posting it? You're the spokesperson for this topic, girlfriend.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, great question. You guys, this is why I really admire you when you propose questions, you put questions out there, is so that, you know, you got to understand, and I write this in your letters of rec, by the way, just a big heads up. When you guys ask questions, questions are leadership, because you're speaking not just for yourself, you're speaking for your cohort who does not have a voice, whether it be they're not comfortable, they're not aware of what they want to ask. When you put that out there, your leadership opens things up for people. And I do bring that up in letters of rec, as people who participate, I will state in your letters of recommendation. Do I remember? Yes, I do. I remember all of you. And I'll put that in there. Okay. So just saying. Yeah, Rosemary, you're awesome.
Professor, I did have a question. In regards to the PSA we're creating, is that going to be created individually or in groups? Because I know you mentioned groups. So would we?
You're going to be doing it individually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can, you know, if you guys create, you know, like, oh my gosh, where did it? Help me, I lost my way. Hold on, let's go back. Okay, so for example, let's see, did anyone create a discussion group? No, I'm gonna ask Maggie if she's opening hers up for the whole class or if it's just for the alternate day, and hopefully she'll do it for the whole class. But if you guys have a discussion going, you might merge with other people to brainstorm and to work together in creating your individual ones. But in the end, your PSA is your PSA, and you're graded for your PSA for following the directions, for executing. Am I going to grade you like, oh, that one's good and that one's bad, that one, you know? No, I'm going to give you specific things that you've got to accomplish in that PSA. And as long as you address those, you are thumbs up, good to go. All right. And that being said, thank you. That actually reminds me of one other thing, you guys, just as a reminder, I give feedback in the grade book. Please make sure you're looking at it, okay? It's like, I don't know what it is. I have friends who when someone posts something, I'll give them a little wiggle room to correct things. And I'll be like, hey, you know what? You missed this. You have time before the final deadline of the assignment. Clean it up and I'll revisit it for the grade to update it. And I have friends who never bother to look at the grade book, and the end of the semester, and I look at the grade book and I'm like, you could have had a higher grade if you took the time to read my comments, but you didn't. Lost opportunities, my friends. So make sure you keep an eye. Keep checking the grade book, especially when a grade comes in. Read my comments, look for them, okay? All right, what other thoughts do you guys have? And don't worry, you can always text me questions or message in Canvas too if you hang up and then you're like, oh, I thought of something. That's me every single day. I never realized things at the time. It's like you go grocery shopping, you go home and you're like, oh my God, I forgot that. Are y'all just staring at me or are you typing? Anything? That's it? I know, Rosemary, thank you for the emojis. All right. Well, then you guys, I'm going to go for the day. Are the readings free? Okay, another good question, Veronica. Justin, you're so cute. Okay, the readings are, if you recall, go back to the syllabus. Let me go find it, okay? Because, I can't just think on my own. That's not the way I'm designed. When you go back to the syllabus, folks, and take a look at it, wherever that mystery thing is, what I provide for you is, I talk about, there are 4 resources that we have. The first one is the one that is required. So I'm going to send out an announcement, folks. Please watch for it. I'll do it tonight after work, but I'm going to send out an announcement because I don't think I got to talk to the bookstore. I don't think they have the textbook. They might from last semester, but it won't be as cheap. I'm going to send out what the price range is I found for rental versus purchase. And I use Dealoz, D-E-A-L-O-Z, as an example, because that's a search engine for the whole world. And I found really great prices there. So I'm going to send that to you guys so you can access it. You never know, you might become buddies with someone and you get an ebook and then you guys share it. I don't know. Anything's possible. These other 3 books are all free. They're through the library. You just have to go into, log on to the library and then do the search using my link. And you can add them to your bookshelf. And then that means they sit there. And then every time you go in, you would be able to access them and read them. And some of them are like you get the download for 24 hours type thing, a little awkward. And then others just sit there forever. Like, let's see. Okay, so communities and action pathways. I've got to sign into the library because I'm not logged in right now. But once I sign in, let's see if my page is still. Yeah, I created my bookshelf and then here are these books. Actually, I have another one there, but the books are here and then I have the ability to read them online and they're free through the university. So those are considered OERs, open educational resources. So your investment is this book, which I think is brilliant. I'm going to say it again. I strongly recommend this one as a long-term resource. But you're going to do what works best for you. Okay. All right. So brilliant. I love these questions, you guys, because it's really important to cover this stuff. And, that's how we do it. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I feel like I'm pulling the strings out of you guys. All right, then folks, I am going to go ahead and close our meeting for today. This gives me 7 minutes to eat my nut butter toast that's sitting there and rinse my chocolate peanut butter banana shake. Oh my God, it was so good though. It was like dessert in a glass with a lot of protein. But Okay, you know I'm here. You know you can reach out to me. Bernardo, I love you dearly. Thank you so much for giving me your face. It was like an anchor to be able to have a real person to look at through today. So I super appreciate it. And knowing your smiling face has always brought me happiness. So thank you. You guys will learn. I love you all dearly, and you're fools to think I don't. Okay. That's it, my friends. I am closing the record. Oh my gosh, did I forget to record the class? Dang it. Dang it.
No, it says it's recording.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, closing the recording, and I'm closing the